Yep, you're on. Okay, talking about professional discussion with the NVQ learners from 2015 to 16. Talking about knowing how to set up and take down and store activity questions, equipment. There's a list of questions here we're now going to discuss as a group. So someone read out the question and then discuss it amongst yourself.
I'll read first one. Question 1. There's the types of equipment that may require setting up and taking down.
Or the types of equipment we should set up will be like the cones in the warm-ups and balls and hoops when we're doing different games, and taking them down will be the same thing. Obviously pack up the cones and put it back in the storage cupboard, being at the private school.
For different age groups, we'll have to set up different equipment. So for the youngsters, we just use cones and play simple games, but for maybe older groups, we might use the gymnastics equipment, so they can improve different aspects because they're older.
Okay, good. Outline what activity equipment is actually used for. So let's go a bit further into, talk about gymnastic equipment. What do you mean? Name me some specific stuff that you might use for gymnastics, say.
For gymnastics, you might use mats, because if they do it on like a hard ground, they might hurt themselves, so you need something to put down, because then they won't get hurt, so protect them.
They use the balance beams as well. So like for them to improve their balance. So sometimes we'll go with them, or some of them feel confident enough to go by themselves on it.
Okay, good. Yep. Describe why activity equipment must be safe. Why must all the equipment be? What do you mean by safe?
Because if they're in danger, it's our fault. So if it's not a secure like setup of equipment, then they'll hurt themselves.
Cool. Okay. Describe the legal and other health and safety requirements that covers activity equipment. Do you understand what that means? What do you mean by legal and health and safety?
Is it just the rules that the government has set in place, or a certain organisation has set in place to keep all kids that take part safe? So types of equipment that they can use and the age rating. So if it was, example, for like a film, certain age ratings would be allowed to watch it, and so if different activities, kids of, let's say, below like year 2 or 3 will be able to do it, but above will be able to do it. So if they was to do an activity like, as we're talking about gymnastics,
The national kids wouldn't really do it.
and so is that something the government put in place to keep age rate kids safe?
Okay, it's not just the government, it's also governing bodies. So each governing body, basketball, football, gymnastics, have their own set of rules and criteria. Well done. Can you state where activity equipment is stored at the school?
They have a specific room where they have all the equipment. So like the footballs, the cones and stuff. We take it from there at the start, and then at the end we'll pack it all up and bring it back there.
No problem. Okay, moving on. Okay, someone read out that first question, 1.6.
Describe the importance of setting up, taking down and storing activity equipment as requested and on time.
Okay, just take me through, if you go on a Tuesday morning, just take us through the procedure, what you should be doing on a Tuesday.
What we should do on a Tuesday is go to our session prepared with our session plans ready, and arrive there on time before the session, so we can set up, and as the kids arrive we're already ready, knowing what we're going to do, so that we can crack on straight away and the kids can enjoy and fulfill what they need to during the time without wasting any unnecessary time with equipment. And we're taking down, we take the children out, the teachers take the children out, and we stay behind and we store put the equipment back into the storage room.
Okay, but in terms of handling stuff, setting up, is there a particular procedure of moving equipment? What should you do? What sort of things should you be making sure that is definitely happening when you're setting up equipment?
They're all safe. So like the gymnastics equipment, there has to be like
It's steady.
yeah. So make sure it's steady. Make sure the mats are in front of it. So for example, if a kid does fall, that he falls on the mat, not on the hard floor, so he doesn't hurt himself or herself.
Okay. And is there a particular, do you work in twos? Do you work in pairs? Is it group work? How do you actually set up the equipment?
If there is, normally there should be 10 of us, so we'll split the group into 5 sort of, kids they'll normally be like 23 or something, so we split that into like 11 and 12, so 5 each coaches will take one group, and like moving equipment we'll do it safely. If it's something heavy, we'll do it one end each, and every time an activity is set up, there's always a watchful eye of one of us coaches on each different part of the session.
Okay, cool. Right, let's move on. Now, 1.11. Describe the record keeping procedure that relate to the equipment being set up, taken down and stored. So, example, you go to the storeroom, I don't know, I'm just asking you, I don't know. Is there anything in the storeroom to actually state to you what equipment is in there? Do you record anything if it's missing? Is there anything like that in there? How do you know how many balls you got, how many bibs? Do you know the situation like that? And if there isn't, is there any way of recording it?
In the cupboard, because we're not the only one that uses it, we just take what's there, and so we don't really keep a track of what's there, what's not there, and yeah.
Okay, so just going to the next one, 1.12. What do you think the importance of accurate record keeping is? And do you think it's important that you actually know what's in there before you go?
Yeah, so like when we plan our sessions, that they know, like for Thursdays and footballs, we know how many footballs are there for the groups that we need. But sometimes we go there and there's not enough footballs, so we have to do what we have.
Okay, good. Alright. Identify the correct location for setting up equipment. Okay, so which asking here, do you know or state, do you know the correct place to take certain equipment? So example, you're in the hall at the moment, it's been, it was winter or autumn term. We're now going into spring. We now could go outside maybe. Can you take certain equipment outside on a Tuesday morning and do gymnastics out on the concrete? Do you know if that's okay? Is it feasible? Is it acceptable? Discuss.
Not all equipment could go outside from the hall, like
It's mainly the cones and stuff.
the cones and like the hoops, they can go out, but stuff like the climbing frames equipment or the mats, stuff like that, we're not really able to take outside. So
Yeah, but why? What's the problem with taking stuff outside? If there is a problem.
moving it could be a bit of a problem.
It's not a safe area like inside.
Good. Alright, no problem. Okay. Any other things in there you want to discuss? Describe how it's important to make sure the equipment is safe and secure when set up. Describe how to make sure equipment is in a safe and secure condition when set up. Okay, that's a double question. Right, cool. Just go around and say your names individually, so I know you are.
Dante.
Should we get
Aaron.
Tony.
Thank you.